You know that classic image, right? The big choice every hero seems to face. It's Hercules, standing there at a crossroads. One path looks easy, comfortable, lots of instant fun. That's the road of vice.
Yeah, wide and tempting.
Exactly. But then there's the other path, steeper, much tougher. It promises, well, mostly difficulty, sacrifice, that's virtue. But it also promises you'll become who you were meant to be.
And that story, Hercules at the Crossroads, it's not just some old myth, is it? It plays out for, well, for all of us.
Yeah.
Every single day, really.
Totally. Like,
Oh.
do you hit snooze for that extra bit of comfort, that denial, or do you face the cold floor, the difficult start towards what you actually want?
That difficult start.
That's what we're getting into today. We've got insights from Martin Meadows, who really focuses on the daily practical stuff, the mechanics, and Ryan Holiday, bringing in that deep Stoic philosophy.
Right.
And our goal here is to sort of flip the script on self-discipline, not see it as punishment or just restriction.
No, not at all. More like intentionally building your own destiny, architecting it.
Yeah.
Architecting destiny. I like that.
And look, if there's one thing to grab onto right at the start, it's this. Self-discipline isn't some, fixed character trait you're born with.
Though that's huge. So it's not like some people just get it.
Not at all. It's not a gift for the lucky ones. It is absolutely a learned trait, like building a muscle. You train it. You develop the ability to rule over yourself over time.
Okay, so it's trainable. We're going to show you how to train it.
Exactly.
But if it's just a skill, why does starting feel so, well, awful sometimes?
Yeah.
You hear self-discipline and you picture, like, deprivation, guilt, constantly battling yourself.
Yeah, it sounds miserable.
Right? It really does. Like a recipe for being unhappy.
And that negative way of thinking about it, that's exactly what trips us up. It sabotages the whole effort before we even start.
Because you're setting it up as a fight.
Precisely, a fight against yourself. You're bound to lose eventually. The Stoics, they saw this problem and they reframed it. They called it the virtue of temperance.
Temperance, okay. And the core idea, the governing thought, isn't about restriction. It's about securing your own power. Like Publius Syrus said, would you have a great empire? Rule over yourself.
Rule over yourself to build an empire. That flips it. So the freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's controlling your internal state.
Yes. That's the immediate win. Freedom from your own laziness, your lethargy, your fears, even freedom from what other people expect all the time.
Right, because just doing whatever pops into your head, that license you mentioned.
That's not freedom. That's just being, adrift, vulnerable, disordered. Real freedom is knowing you command your reactions, your habits. You're the one at the helm.
Okay, but then there's the big opponent, right? That internal saboteur. The Greeks called it akrasia.
Crazy, the internal battle, yes.
That constant fight between the part of you that knows what you should do.
Your higher self.
And the other part, the lower self, that's always checking. Like, what can I get away with right now?
And that fight never really stops, does it? Just naming it akrasia, well, that doesn't magically fix it.
Probably not.
But knowing it's universal, that this inner conflict is just part of being human, that helps. The higher self, maybe the part that bought the gym membership, is always wrestling with the lower self, the part that's now using the treadmill to hang coats on.
Huh. Yeah, I know that one.
Discipline is just the process. It's helping your higher self win more of those little daily fights.
Daily skirmishes. But hang on. Before we paint this picture of guaranteed success through sheer willpower, we need a bit of a reality check, don't we?
Absolutely. A critical perspective is essential.
Is just endless, rigid discipline always the path to, happiness and freedom?
No, definitely not. And that's crucial. While the sources we're looking at emphasize delaying gratification, context is everything. Modern psychology actually warns us here.
Okay, how so?
Well, research suggests that being too rigid, forcing excessive discipline, can backfire. It can lead straight to stress, anxiety, even burnout.
Right. So if your life's already unstable, maybe money worries or mental health stuff.
Exactly. Piling on super harsh internal rules might just break you. It's not about becoming this unfeeling robot. There has to be balance.
That makes sense. Rigid rules can snap. So, okay, if brute force isn't the answer, let's talk about the training, the foundation. Starting with the body, Holiday really emphasizes getting the body into subjection, building fortitude.
Yeah, and for this, the story of Lou Gehrig is just incredible. The baseball legend.
The Iron Horse.
Played 2,130 consecutive games. Think about that. Through fevers, injuries, back pain.
Yeah.
It wasn't just physical talent. It was pure Herculean endurance, relentless discipline.
And the why behind it was powerful, wasn't it? His
Father's
father...
father was unreliable, called out sick, drank too much. Apparently the excuses really shamed young Gehrig.
So he made dependability his thing, toughness,
Yeah.
non-negotiable.
He chose clean living, but not really out of piety,
Yeah.
His driving force was singular. Be the greatest baseball player he could be. Full stop.
Anything that got in the way of that.
Was poison, as his biographer put it. Vice wasn't just bad. It was an insult to his potential. He ruled his body because his dream depended on it.
Okay, Gehrig is maybe the extreme end of endurance. How do the rest of us find consistency without needing that level of, like, iron will every single morning?
And that brings us to a really key insight, especially for Meadows. Systems over willpower.
Systems over willpower. Okay, unpack that.
Willpower, think of like a phone battery, starts full in the morning, but drains fast with every tough decision, every temptation resisted.
Right, by 5 p.m., it's running on empty.
Exactly. You can't rely on that brute strength day in, day out for long-term change. So the insight is this. Creating systems that make it next to impossible to misbehave is more reliable than self-control.
Okay, I like that. Don't fight the temptation. Just design it out of the picture. Eliminate the choice point.
Precisely. Make the right choice, the easy choice, or the only choice.
So let's break down some practical systems, starting with building habits. People trip up here setting massive goals, right?
Oh, constantly. Aiming way too high too soon. The goal has to be consistency first, not size. The starting habit needs to be almost insultingly small.
Insultingly small, like what?
Like, if you want to write a book, don't start with, I'll write 5,000 words today. That's setting yourself up to fail.
Okay.
Aim for, say, 240 words. That's maybe one paragraph. It's so small your brain doesn't even bother fighting you on it.
Huh. Too small to argue with.
Right. Make that non-negotiable. Do it every day. And only when that tiny target feels effortless, then you bump it up a little.
That consistency, even on something small, builds self-trust, doesn't it? Which you need for bigger things like money, financial discipline.
Same exact principle. People think, oh, I don't earn enough to save.
Yeah.
But it's not about the amount initially. It's about building the habit of putting something aside, deferring gratification.
Start small, even if it feels pointless.
Yes, start now, because the sources are clear. Every time you borrow money, you're literally robbing your future self. You're taking away their resources, their options. The system isn't deciding to save each month. It's setting up the automatic transfer.
Automate the good behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about managing consumption, like food portions or doom scrolling, things like that? Simple environmental tricks.
Environment shapes behavior way more than we admit. Simple things. Use smaller plates, smaller bowls.
Really? Does that work?
Yeah, your brain kind of registers a full, small plate as enough more easily than a half-empty large one, even if the amount is the same or less. Manages portions without feeling deprived.
Clever.
And a neat psychological trick for dieting. Take a picture of your food before you eat it.
Why? Just for Instagram?
Huh. No, not necessarily. It forces a pause, a moment of accountability right before you consume it. Makes you consciously confront the choice.
That little pause, that moment of reflection. Yeah, I can see how that could change things. And finally, the system we sacrifice most often for productivity. Sleep.
Oh, sleep is foundational, non-negotiable. Prioritizing it is key because it directly fuels your impulse control, your brain function.
So less sleep doesn't make you a productivity machine.
Absolutely not. It just tanks your ability to sustain discipline throughout the day. Resisting the junk food, the procrastination urge that relies heavily on a well-rusted prefrontal cortex. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's a core system for self-control.
Okay, so the outer game is systems, environment, consistency. The inner game, then, that must be about mindset, right? Long-term focus.
Exactly. Discipline fundamentally requires looking past the immediate pleasure, the now, towards a future goal.
And this is where that idea of the future self comes in.
It's critical. Discipline is often defined as choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Okay.
But if your vision of what you want most, embodied by your future self in 10, 20, 30 years, if that vision is fuzzy or just not compelling, why would you skip the donut today?
For some stranger down the road. Yeah, makes sense.
You have to build a vivid, clear, desirable picture of the person you're working towards becoming. That's the motivation.
And inevitably, you'll slip up on the path to becoming that person. How do you handle failure without getting derailed by guilt or making excuses?
This requires what Meadows calls brutal honesty. Brutal.
Okay, sounds tough.
It means the second you start blaming outside stuff, the boss, the traffic, bad luck, you've given up responsibility, growth stops right there.
So what's the alternative mindset?
Treat everything as an experiment. Seriously. Tell yourself, I'm just running a test here to see what happens.
Removes the pressure of success or failure.
Exactly. It lowers the stakes. Failure isn't failure anymore. It's just data. Invaluable feedback for the next experiment, the next attempt.
But the really deep change, the lasting kind, needs more than just experiments, doesn't it? It sounds like you have to change your actual identity.
That's the profound part. You have to let go of the old self, the one who kept failing the experiments.
How does that work?
Well, if deep down you see yourself as someone who's bad with money or someone who just can't wake up early, guess what? You'll keep acting in line with that self-image.
You behave consistently with who you believe you are.
Exactly. So you have to consciously ditch that old script. You're not trying to get disciplined. You're training to be a disciplined person. It's a shift in being.
And language can actually help reinforce that shift. There's that distinction between saying I don't versus I can't.
Yes. It sounds small, but it's incredibly powerful.
Explain that.
When you say, I can't eat cake, it implies restriction, weakness. Like you want it, but something's holding you back.
Okay.
But if you say, I don't eat cake, it implies a conscious choice. It aligns with your identity as, say, a healthy person. It's empowering.
It's a statement of who you are, not what you're missing out on.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It reinforces the new identity, the commitment.
We also need to be disciplined about, well, talking about our discipline or goals. There's a trap there.
Oh, huge trap. Focus on doing, not talking. Psychologists have found that talking excessively about your goals can actually kill your motivation.
Really?
How?
Ooh.
Because describing the goal, telling everyone about it, gives you a little dopamine hit, a premature sense of accomplishment. Feels like you've already done part of the work.
So you get the reward before the effort.
Right. So keep the big plans mostly to yourself. Let the actions and the results do the talking.
Okay, let's talk more action. Got it. Finally, putting this all together, balance. Once you commit to this path, you face choices about what gets prioritized. That juggling balls metaphor captures this, right?
It does perfectly. Life is like juggling 5 balls. Work, family, health, friends, and integrity.
Okay, 5 balls.
But here's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them, work, is a rubber ball.
Mm-hmm.
Drop it. It'll likely bounce back. Maybe not perfectly, but it bounces.
And the others?
The other 4, family, health, friends, integrity, those are glass balls. You drop one of those, they shatter, chip, crack, maybe break completely. Very hard, sometimes impossible to put back together.
So discipline isn't just about grinding harder at the rubber ball at work.
Not at all. True self-mastery is having the wisdom and discipline to prioritize those glass balls, to keep your whole life intact, not just your career.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, self-discipline, it's a skill we learn. It unlocks freedom. It needs systems, sleep, small starts, honesty about failure.
Treating failure like an experiment. Yeah.
And it all has to be fueled by a really clear vision of that future self you want to be.
We started with Lou Gehrig, using discipline to build that incredible streak,
Right.
fighting off every obstacle.
Yeah, resisting pain, temptation.
But his ultimate act of discipline, maybe it wasn't the streak itself. Maybe it was knowing when to stop.
Right. After 230 games, he took himself out. Benched himself because he knew his body was failing, hurting the team.
He put the team's success, his higher standard, above his personal record. That takes incredible self-mastery, stepping away.
Which circles back perfectly to that Winston Churchill quote.
The famous one. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 and nothing great or small.
Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. Keep pushing, keep fighting.
But there's that crucial exception, he adds, the ultimate display of discipline.
Which is?
Never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Honor and good sense. Knowing when not to push.
Exactly. So as you think about the striving that discipline demands, here's the final question for you to reflect on. What's the higher mark of self-mastery for you right now?
Is it the discipline to just keep pushing through no matter the cost?
Or is it having the courage, the good sense, the conviction of honor to recognize when it's actually right to stop, to maybe choose a different path, a healthier, more balanced one? What do your own convictions of honor and good sense tell you?